Hi everyone. Get my comfy pillow here. It's a sad day. Welcome to my channel. That's a sad day. My cousin Kathy called this morning to tell me that her little dog Jackson has passed away. And I used to doggy sit him. And he was such a cutie. He was a little white dog, Shih Tzu, but he was adorable. And he had a lot of health problems, and they decided it was time. He was very old and had a lot of health problems, and there does come a time when you finally say, I can't keep them going, it's not fair, you know. But it breaks my heart. He had the cutest little habit of hopping like a rabbit. He had spinal problems because he had an injury, and they had to do surgery on his spine. And so he kind of walked funny, you know, but then he'd get these little spurts of energy where he would just hop like a little rabbit. He'd go like that when he would. It was so cute, and his little ears would flop when he'd get in that little mood. And he'd hang out with my dogs. My dogs loved him, especially my dog Lily. I think she thought he was a baby because she was super protective over him. I mean, he would come over and she'd be checking on him. When he'd go outside, she'd run out after him to make sure he was okay. And another dog that I doggy sit, Luna, a big dog. I'll show you a picture at the end of the video here. But the big dog, she'd go out, and Jackson, my cousin's dog, he had like dementia, and so sometimes he'd be walking outside and all of a sudden he'd just stop and he'd just stare, just looking around like he didn't know what was happening or going on. And Luna, the big dog, she'd come up and she'd nudge him, like, you know, she'd go up to him and nudge him like, you can walk, you can move, you know. It was so cute how they treated him. They knew, all three of the dogs, my two dogs and Luna, the big dog, they knew that he was not, how could I put it, not in a normal state as a dog. They just knew. And so they would take care of him. And sometimes it felt like they thought he was their baby. You know, we have to take care of this baby. I didn't know if it was, did they think he was a baby, or did they just know that he needed help? But the way Lily would treat him, licking him, and she'd go up and lick his head and lick his face and, like, you know, cleaning him because he was so little. It was like she was cleaning him, like taking care of a baby, you know, a puppy. And yeah, it's going to be sad not to see him anymore. And it's so strange. You know, guys, these pets, they become our family. They, you know, they really become family. They're not just these animals that we happen to have. They really become a part of your family. And any dog I've lost, it's been devastating. It's been devastating. And I felt so bad when I was talking to my cousin. She was talking about how horrible it was to go home and he was no longer there. That's the worst, you know. I've been fortunate in that when a dog has died, I've always had two or more dogs, and so if one died, I'd come home and I'd have the other one there, which helped a lot to go through the grief. But they don't. That was their baby, her and her husband, and she said it was just horrible, just, you know, awful going home. And it is, because those little guys do provide an energy in your home, a type of energy, and then you have all your routines with them, you know, all your little routines that you have, feeding them, looking out for them, checking on them, see where they are, take them outside or a walk, or, you know, whatever. You have all your little routines in your life with these little animals, and they fill part of your day for one reason or another. I can't imagine coming home if one of my dogs died. I couldn't imagine coming home and not having another one there. That would be really hard for me. But she said no more. She's not going to get any more. It hurts too much. And I understand, because they're in their 70s, and it's hard. It's hard when you lose a dog. Or a pet. It's very hard. Whatever your pet is, it's very hard to lose them. And it breaks my heart. In fact, yesterday I have a spare room, and I was going through the closet in there to look for something, and I had the bed in there that Jackson would sleep on when he would come and stay here. And my dogs immediately ran in to see what I was doing, and they're sniffing his bed, just sniffing it like, and then they laid on it, and I thought, oh, they're missing Jackson. And I looked at them and I said, don't worry, babies, we'll see him again. Don't worry, he'll come over again sometime. Well, no, he's not going to. He's crossed that rainbow bridge. I hope my dogs Capone and Kitty and Elvira and all my other dogs, Whisper, all my dogs, Scamper, I could go on forever. I hope all my little dogs greeted him, and they're all happily playing up in doggy heaven. That's what I hope. But it made me sad. He wasn't even my dog. But it makes me sad that I won't see him again. I'm glad that I had him for Christmas. I got to have him for over 2 weeks for the holiday season. And I dressed all 4 of the dogs, my 2 dogs, Jackson and the other dog, Luna, that I doggy said. I dressed them all up in their Christmas clothing so that I could take a picture of them. And I'll show that to you at the end here. But I just wanted to make this video because the day fits the mood. I just got through showering, so yeah, this is just me after a shower. I'm in my fuzzy warm clothes. These are fuzzy fuzzies. But I just wanted to get comfortable because it's very cold. We had a little bit of hail and rain today, and it's cloudy and cold now, and I got a pot of beans. I love pinto beans, so I got a pot of them going, and I'll put some ham in later and have some ham and beans. I love them. Just a little comfort, comfort stuff. I thought I'm going to go take a nice shower and get in comfy clothing, and I'm not worrying about hair and makeup. I don't care. I just wanted to comfort, because it really did break my heart to hear that he's gone. He had this one little habit that used to crack me up. Because of his mental condition, he would walk up to a wall and he would just stare, right? He'd just stand there and stare. And I'd be like, Jackson, I'd yell, Jackson, and oh, he would just stand there and stare. Or sometimes he'd just be walking and all of a sudden just stop and stare. And then he'd decide he was ready for a little nap, and he'd come to the little bed area I had laid out for him on the floor. And he'd get up on top of there, and he'd look around, he'd kind of just, his little head would go like that, he'd look around. And then he'd just plop down and he'd sleep for sometimes hours. And my little Lily and Pixie, they would go and check on him after he'd be sleeping for a while, a long while. They'd go check on him like, why is he sleeping so long, But he was old. He was real old, and it was his time. And I'm just glad I got to doggy sit him, and I'm glad I had him for so long at Christmas time. I'm really, really glad that I got to have him around. And he would wake me up in the morning sometimes. He had this funny little bark. I don't know what it was, or maybe it was because of his little dementia that he didn't know how to bark right anymore or something. But sometimes it would scare the daylights out of me. Out of nowhere, all of a sudden you'd hear, ah! Oh, sorry. I just scared the daylights out of my dogs. But I'm sorry, sweetie, I'm sorry. But that's what he would do, just one loud ah! And I just scared the crap out of my dogs. It's okay, baby, it's okay. Come on, you can come up. Come on, it's okay. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Come here, Pixie. I didn't mean to scare them. But that's what it would do to me. Pixie, come here, baby. Oh, she's like, no. But it's okay, honey. But yeah, every once in a while, I'd hear this loud, just like that, like I just did. And I'd wake up like, whoa, you know, because it would just be one. Or sometimes he'd be walking by and all of a sudden he let one of those barks out and I'd be like, oh my God. You know, it was the strangest, cutest little bark. It was funny. But just, it makes me sad that he's gone. And drink of tea there. Just makes me sad that I won't see him again, because my dogs really loved him. They would hang out with him and follow him. When he'd go out in the backyard, sometimes you could see he didn't really know, you know, he'd just start walking like kind of, you know, blindly just walking all over. I mean, he wasn't blind, but you know what I mean, just kind of wandering. And these dogs would sense that he seems to be lost, and they'd go up and get on each side of him to walk with him as if to be his guide. It was really weird how these little dogs just knew what to do and how to treat him. It was really strange. They sensed he needs help, and they would almost like herding him. They would like herd him out there. And then he'd find his way back to the porch, and he'd hop inside the door, because my garage is connected to the kitchen, and he'd hop into the garage, you know, part, and then he'd hop into the kitchen. And it was so cute the way he'd do that. It was so cute, guys. And it was like he was proud of himself for hopping the way he would hop. It was just so cute. And then when all four of the dogs were out there this holiday season, and they're out in the yard walking around, he would join them, and he would just act like, I'm part of the pack. Yeah, I'm part of the pack, you know. It was so cute. You could see he was like proud that he was part of this little doggy pack of 4 dogs, you know, and he'd walk with them, and then they'd be, you know, with him, and then all of a sudden he would just stop, you know, like, where am I? And they would come back to him. They would come back to him like, come on, you know, come on with us, you know, come on with the pack, you know. And then he'd start walking with them again. It's weird how they just knew, how the dogs knew that he needed help. He needed a little help here and there. And he actually got to the point, because he was with me for so long for the holiday, he got to the point where he knew where the treats were. Because after my dogs go out to do their business, I go give them a treat, and it's in a cabinet over there. And he all of a sudden, out of the blue, he never knew, he never seemed to know before. I would just bring them in and give him a treat. But then he started going to that cabinet, and I was like, oh, he's caught on where the treats are. So they'd come in, and they'd be waiting at the you know, the pantry I have, rather, and he'd wait for his treat. And so he actually got to know, oh, it's treat time. So yeah, it just makes me sad, because these little guys, I'm telling you, they get in here, they get in your heart, and they get in your heart, and yes, they do, baby. Don't you, Lily? Don't you, baby? Yeah. Yeah. They get in your heart, and they just become a part of your family. That's all. They truly do, and it's just sad. It just really makes me sad that I won't see him again. The little bed that he slept on still has some of his little white fur on it, and and just sad. He had to clean. I had to clean his mouth after he would eat because he would smush his face into the food, and then he's got white, kind of longish fur around his mouth, and his little ears would get in the food. So I would have to wipe his mouth like a child after he would eat. Wipe his mouth real good and clean the tips of his ears. I mean, oh. And it was so funny because this one, Lily, after he would eat, I would have to stop her because she'd go up to start licking his mouth to clean it. The food residue was on his little snout. And she'd go up like, okay, I'll clean his mouth. And she'd start licking his whole mouth. I'd have to stop her and then clean him so she wouldn't keep licking him, trying to get that food residue off. And he'd let her. He would let the dogs just go up and snuggle with him, or when Lily would go up she would clean him, just not just after food, but she just had this urge to go clean him, like I said, like a puppy. And she'd go up and she'd start licking him and sniffing him and like checking him out, and Jackson would let her do it. Like, it's okay, you can take care of me. Like he was the little king. He was the only boy when all four of them were together. He was the only boy. So I think he thought he was a little studly there while they were looking at him like he was a little baby, So, yeah, just very sad that he's gone. And I don't know. It's tough. It's very tough. These little ones that I have, if they live as long as my other little dogs have, they'll be around into my 70s, that's for sure. And maybe, I don't know, I don't know. I can't imagine not having a dog around. I really, honestly can't. I just can't. I can't, especially living alone. If I'm still alone, living alone, as they get older, I can't even fathom not coming home, coming home to no dogs. I just can't even fathom that thought, because they're such wonderful little greeters, and they welcome you, unconditionally love you. They don't care if you had a bad day, if you're just in a lousy mood. They don't care. You come home and they're there. They're like, hi, I'm so glad to see you. And they're just very special. So yeah, guys, kind of a sad day for me. I cried. After I hung up with her, I cried. Because just yesterday, I'm telling my little dogs, don't worry, you'll see Jackson again. And my little grandson, whose name is also Jackson, he was so excited to find out that I had a dog here named Jackson. He was so excited. One time when I was talking to my daughter, he was in the background when we were FaceTiming, or on the phone, I can't remember, but we were talking, and he's in the background. I can hear him. Is Jackson at Grandma's? Is Jackson at Grandma's? He wanted to make sure Jackson was here. And I'd be like, yes, Jackson's here. He was so excited. The first time he saw him, it was so cute. He walked up to Jackson and he was petting him, and he's like, and I said, yeah. I said, that's Jackson. Jackson. And he goes, I like his name, which was so cute. I was like, yeah, you do. It's the same as yours. So he's going to be missing Jackson too. He's not going to see him. I'm sure he'll ask about him occasionally. But he liked him a lot too. So, now the sun is out. I don't want the sun today. Do you ever do that, guys, where you want the weather to fit your mood? I don't know. The sun came out for a bit there. It's kind of patchy, cloudy. I'd rather it just be a really cloudy day today, because it's sad. To me, it's very sad. It's weird to know I won't see him again, and I feel for my cousin and her husband, Alex. That was their baby. That was their little baby. And they spoiled him. Oh, they loved him. They spoiled him. Oh, they would bring the sweaters and the blankets and the beds and tons of food and his little brush and his wipes. I mean, he was a spoiled baby. They loved him very, very much, and you could tell he was a love little dog. So anyway, guys, I'm going to show you a quick picture I have of them. I couldn't get Jackson to get his face to look up, but it's still a cute picture. I got them all dressed up for Christmas. I put their little outfits on and got a picture of them all together when I was babysitting the two dogs, or doggy-sitting the two dogs. So I'm going to show you that picture real quick, guys. Let me move, baby. Let me get the camera and I will show you that. Oh yeah, Lily, that's it, girl. Let me get the camera out of here. Okay. Oh, hold on, guys. Okay. There they are. Jackson is the little white one right there. I could not get him to look up. He was too busy sniffing the carpet. Oh. But they were all together for Christmas. So I'm glad he got to spend his Christmas with a bunch of buddies. Because they were buddies. They literally were buddies. They would just hang out together and play together. And the way he would follow them around outside was so cute. Because I swear to you, he had his head up. He was hopping like a bunny with them. And I just swear I could hear him saying, I am a studly puppy with the pack here. But they were looking at him like a baby. Or an old man. I'm not sure which. But they were so good to him. The big one there, Luna, she's the one who would go and nudge him when he'd get in that state of mind where it was like he didn't know what he was doing. She would go up and nudge him gently like, you can move, you can move. And Lily, this one here, the black, my little black one there, she was the one who mothered him like it was her baby. And Pixie, yeah, my other little black one, she would always be checking up on him. She'd go to sniff and check and look around for him. So, this little video was in honor of you, Jackson. I hope you're playing with all my doggies and you can all talk about when you were visiting here. Yeah, so rest in peace, little Jackson. You will be missed by your mommy and daddy, and me too, and by my little buddies here. So take care, guys. Bye, Jackson. Maybe we'll all see each other once again. Bye-bye, baby.